Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here, and welcome to episode 14 of my Warframe Beginners Guide for 2025. The first thing that we're going to do in today's episode is the Master Rank 14 test, so just come into this test with your Vault, your Naderic, your Grimoire, and your Zorus, and this is a advanced exterminate test where we just have to kill all the enemies again. The enemies are just going to be higher level, so you can see enemy level 15, 17, oh no. And it's just a matter of you surviving and killing all the enemies. Again, you got to do it for 3 waves, just like the other tests. But this time, the stage is actually going to change. But that doesn't change anything about the test, really. It just changes the enemies it spawns in. And I guess the amount that you have to kill. We have to kill 18 of these infested. This is what the final stage looks like, and we have to kill corpus enemies now. And after wave 3, that's the test complete. Okay, so I have swapped back over to the beginner guide account, and as you can see, I'm still MR10 over here. But what I do have now is all of the galvanized mods that we spoke about. So if you're unfamiliar, you can get these from arbitrations. You can also see that I have 27,000 endo, and that's because I got a bunch of Iton statues and stuff from the arbitrations. So I was able to put stars in and then go to Maru, trade those to Maru, and I get a bunch of endo on top of just like the endo that I was getting from the arbitration missions. So these mods are really worth ranking up. The rifle ones, the pistol ones, and the melee ones are the ones that I would rank up first, especially the ones that give you multi-shot on the rifles and the pistols. The melee ones we can go ahead and throw onto our Zorus once we get them ranked up, but we don't have to worry about maxing these out right now. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and do some of the standing stuff in the player hubs. So we're going to come over to our foundry and we are going to claim the landing craft foundry segment and anything else that you can claim. I'm going to go ahead and install the segment here, and that means we can go ahead and construct those air support charges that's in the foundry too. So if we go back into the foundry here and we type in air support charges, we can go ahead and craft some of those. They're going to take a minute to craft. We can go ahead and craft the one that gives 100. That probably makes a little bit more sense, to be honest. And then what we want to go ahead and do, if we haven't already, we want to go out of our way to get some of the platinum to buy that ship that we talked about in the last episode. So to find the ship, just go ahead, pause the game, go to equipment, go to orbiter, go to landing craft, then go to Lucette, and it's the parallax that we want to go ahead and buy for 150 platinum. Just go ahead and make sure that you've got that equipped, then go to the override here and put on Aurican Eye. Aurican Eye is the ability of the ship that we're going to be using with these air support charges. So I went ahead and I claimed those air support charges. Now, if I come over to my foundry, go to my gear wheel, I can equip them like so. I'm going to go ahead and play Vault this episode just because I feel like playing Vault. And first of all, I'm going to go ahead and make my way over to the Zariman. So the first thing that we're going to do over here in the Zariman is just running bounties. You could run pretty much any bounty that you want. I'm going to go ahead and run the highest tier one because that gives me the most of the little void plumes there. You can see that I get 5 per run. And also it's pretty fast because it's void flood. And what we're going to do is we're going to use those air support charges in this mission to help us find some of the void plumes that we need. So you can see that if I go to hold fast standing and I press rank up here, I've got enough standing to rank up, but I need more of these void plume downs. And we're going to be able to get those simply by just running around the tile set and picking the items up. And the air support charge is going to show us where they are. Make sure to have your party privacy set to public before you do these, because if a teammate picks one up, well, it's going to go into your inventory as well. And just start running the bounties. So I'm going to go ahead and max out my standing here. Another thing, if you come over to Archimedean Yunta, you can go ahead and get some void plumes from her for trading in some resources that you get. So if there's some void plumes that you just are not finding or are not coming across, you can come pick them up here. And as soon as I load in, I'm going to go ahead and use an air support charge. The air support charge is going to scan the area, and if there's any void plumes nearby, it's going to mark them. Unfortunately, there wasn't any in range, so I have to wait for the air support charge to come off of cooldown. It does have a 10-minute cooldown. This is where having the helmet ability that we showed yesterday might come in handy, because if you use the charge and it doesn't scan anything, well, then you could just go ahead and use the ability, and that'll guide you to something. Now, that does have its own cooldown as well, so you have to keep that in mind too. But if worse comes to worse, you can go ahead and look for these little balls and then follow the kids again. And the kids will guide you to some of the resources as well. So I just got myself a void plume down, which is one of the things that we need. I'm just going to let my team do the mission, and I'm just going to keep on following these kids so I can get some of the resources that I need. Remember, if you come across one of these golden keys, take it to a vending machine if you can find it, and it's going to pop out a void plume for you. You really want to make sure to keep your eyes peeled whenever you're running around these missions, just to find all of the resources that are on the ground. So if you go ahead and use the equipment and it's successful at finding some of the little resources, you're going to see this icon here. So you can hear that it guided us to one of these little things, one of these little medallion things. I'm in a mobile defense, so I'm going to go ahead and put that mobile defense thing in first. Now I'm going to pick this up. And I'm going to keep that with me, so then if I find one of the vending machines, I can put this in. I just defend my objective first. So here's the vending machine. I just put my first key in, and it plops out a void plume quill. I got the second key, pick it up, go over to the same vending machine again. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. I need to find another one. But you can see that the little gear thing has also marked one of the quills on the ground, so it's void plume down. We can go ahead and pick that up. And yeah, that's basically how I go about finding all of the void plumes that I need. Now, the highest tier one drops from void angels, so you'll have to kill void angels to get that one. And they'll spawn in higher level Zarman missions. Whenever you're doing your bounties, you may come across void angels that you have to kill. For example, here is one of the void angels. You want to walk up to it and wake it up like so. And now you just have to do a void angel fight. So, you know, just go ahead and DPS it with your Naderic or whatever. Once you've taken down a health bar, get into the orb. Go ahead and DPS it with your amp. Hopefully you've got the Sirocco equipped, like we mentioned in other episodes. Then, once you deal enough damage, dash through the golden balls, stand in this golden ball, and deal damage like so. And once you've dealt enough damage, just go ahead and do the exact same thing with Vault. Just damage the Void Angel. Now it's Operator phase again. Just jump on in. Amp phase. Ball phase. Dash through the balls. Land and shoot at the Angel again. Just DPS the Void Angel down one more time. And then they will drop a Arcane and also a Void Plume for you. I got a Void Plume Pinion. So unfortunately, that is the gameplay loop of the Zarman. You gotta play the missions, and then in the missions, you gotta do the bounties. And while doing the mission and the bounty, you gotta look around for the Void Plumes that are just around. So yeah, realistically, what you want to do is you just want to play this co-op with some buddies. So again, a link to my Discord will be down in the description below. Just run the Zarman bounties and try to find those Void Plumes. They're laying on the ground, and kill some Void Angels. And that way you'll be able to rank up with the Zarman Syndicate just fine. So as you can see, just from that bounty, I ended up getting 765 endo. I got myself an Arcane. I got myself some of the Void Plumes and some of the Intrati Landthorns. So quite a decent haul just from that one mobile defense. Now, the reason that it's important to rank up with the Holdfast, with the Zarman Syndicate here, is simply because of this Cavaliero guy, and I know I didn't jump into a lot of detail about it in the previous episode, but we have these incarnon weapons, and these are basically meta weapons, and a lot of the Arcanes in here, such as Molt Efficiency, maybe Cascadia Empowered, Cascadia Flare, Molt Augmented. All the weapons and a lot of the Arcanes are like super meta. So it's worth coming here to actually just rank up with these guys so you can get access to those weapons and to those Arcanes. So I can go ahead and I can rank up now. You can see that it shows you a bunch of decorations. Skip all of these and just go ahead and choose one of the Arcanes that sounds appealing to you. So I think for the sake of killing the Angels, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Eternal Eradicate, because that's just going to help me take them down, because whenever I cast an ability with my operator, well, I'm going to get more damage on my amp. So right now, I can only earn 21,000 standing per day, but as I increase my master rank, the amount of standing that I can earn in a day is going to go up. So if you're master rank 14, if you've actually been ranking up before you watch like every episode, well, you'll be able to get more standing than me, but I can only earn 21k right now. So it's going to take me a while to actually like achieve max rank. But I am going to focus on actually getting my master rank levels up. So that's basically all there is to cover right now here in the Zarman. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Sanctum. You can see here in the Sanctum, I need the Shrill Evoca to rank up because I've got the 5,000 standing that I need. So it's simply just a matter of going into one of the bounty missions or a Netracell mission or something. So I'm going to opt to do the Netracell because I know I can do the Netracells. So go ahead, talk to Tagfer, Netracells. Make sure your matchmaking is on public, by the way. And it's literally just the exact same thing, but instead of using the air support charge whenever the mission just starts, wait until you actually get into the sort of tile set here. Then once you're in, go ahead and cast your air support charge. It'll do a scan for you. And if there's any Voca around, so for example, hidden up in the roof, well, you'll be able to go ahead and pick it up. And there you go. I've got my Shrill Voca, as easy as that. Now, it's a lot easier to find the Voca and stuff because they do make that big noise, you know. But I mean, having the air support charges, it doesn't hurt. And also, sometimes the Voca are hidden behind puzzles in this area, which are quite easy to figure out, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, the more Voca you find, the merrier. So at the end of my Netracell run, I came out with 8 Entrati Landforms, 2 Shrill Voca, and a Crimson Archon Shard. Not a lot of endo, but that's okay. What we're able to do now is we're going to go and talk to the fish, and we're going to go ahead and rank up with our Cavia. So this is just the Necromech mod, so you can go ahead and pick whatever you want, really. I think I'll go ahead and choose the slide, I guess. I don't know. And basically, all you want to do, go ahead, run your bounties, go ahead and run your Netracells, get the stand-in, and then whenever you're playing these missions, pop the air support charges, pick up Voca. That's basically it. Now we're going to move on to the Hex, or 1999. So remember to get back to 1999, come to the PC and go ahead and select the back room here. Press yes. You want to come out of the back room into Helvania. Hold down Q and TP to the garage PC. Go to the bounty board and we're just going to go ahead and run a bounty. So I'm just going to go ahead and spam run the exterminate. Get on your motorbike. Beep beep. And then whenever you load in, just go ahead, get off your motorbike, and you can use the air support charges here. And that's going to mark the pizza and beer and stuff for you. If there's any nearby, that is, of course. If you're consistently using the air support charges and you're not finding anything, then just wait to use it later on in the mission whenever you're sort of like deeper into the tile set, you know? So maybe instead of using it at the start, you could use it like in this area. I often just like using mine at the start because usually I'm running with a squad, you know, and then somebody else would be able to use theirs like later on. So while you're playing these missions, if you come across the supply cache, make sure to go ahead and find the keys. Then just go ahead, put the keys into the supply cache, and that way you're going to come out with an Arcane. Just use your ears to find these charges, and then if you find enough in the time limit, you can go ahead, open up the cache, and you get an Arcane. Now, these 1999 bounties, or the Hex missions, these are going to be your new go-to source for credits, because you do have to just run these bounties, right? So if you happen to have a credit booster or something, well, you're going to be getting a ton of credits from these missions. And I mean, like, you have to do them anyway, so I mean, you might as well. You're going to have to do a lot of them to get all the stand-in, to get max rank, and also the Arcanes and stuff like that for standing too, and weapons, etc. So you want to go to the Zarman, the Sanctum, and here in 1999 every single day and max out your standing every single day if you can. The amount of rewards you're going to get for that are insane. Now also, hopefully you haven't forgot about doing your Cetus standing, your standing over at Fortuna, and your standing over at Deimos. Here in Cetus with the Ostrons, there's not really much that we care about just from ranking up with Mr. Konzu here. But what we do kind of care about are some of the mods that some of these bounties drop. So you can see that they drop these Vigilante mods, Gladiator mods, and there's even a very specific mod called Hunter Munitions. So the Augur mods, the Gladiator mods, the Vigilante mods, and the Hunter Munitions mod are all mods that are pretty decent to get from these bounties. And they constantly change out. So you can see this timer up here. So in 1 hour, 48 minutes, these bounties are going to change and the rewards are going to change as well. So you simply just want to be doing these bounties for the rewards from them, to be honest. Not necessarily because there's anything insane coming from the stand-in. So here we can see that the Ghoul bounties are up and they actually dropped the Hunter Munitions mod. And you can also see that these bounties drop Aya, 19 Extract, etc. So it's at least worth it for me to come in and do this bounty here so I can get Hunter Munitions. Hunter Munitions is a very, 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 very meta mod. And that's going to be going on to our Nadarik. So I'm going to go ahead and farm that up. These bindies are extremely straightforward, so I don't really need to show them to you. But then the other thing that we want to pay attention to is, if you remember, after the War Within quest, we were able to enter this door, and you can come and talk to this guy. You might have been able to trade sentient cores for quill standing. You can see that I don't really have any at the minute. I need to go out of my way to get more of these intact sentient cores, and we're going to cover that in this episode. But unfortunately, we can't get any of the resources that we need to rank up with him until nighttime, and that's in 56 minutes in real life time, so I have to wait. The next thing I want you guys to do is come to your armory, go to your gear, and equip some lock pins. If you haven't got these, you can go to your Tenno lab in your clan's dojo, then go to your foundry and craft 3 of them. And now we're heading over to the Orb Valis. You guys to go ahead and get onto your Archwing. Open up your map, put a waypoint at the spaceport, then head over to it. Go ahead and just land somewhere. Go ahead, place down a lock pin. And on this lock pin, I want you to go ahead and type in Vega. I like to have mine shown in the HUD. And I'm going to make this one a green color. Press confirm. Then go ahead, get onto your Archwing again. Exact same thing. Go ahead and land somewhere. Place down a lock pin, edit it, and we're typing in Calda. Go ahead and make this one an orange color and press confirm. And last but not least, go ahead, open your map, put a waypoint at the Temple of Prophet, which is all the way at the top left. Head over there. Now place down a lock pin and name this one Sola. Go ahead and make that a yellowy color. So now here in Fortuna, if you go ahead and you open up your map, you should have a little orange icon over at the Enrichment Labs, a little green icon at Spaceport, and a yellow icon at Temple of Prophet. And each of these correspond with a type of toroid, which is a resource that we're going to need later on. So the Spaceport drops green toroids, which are called Vega toroids. The Enrichment Lab, they drop Calda toroids, which are orange. And then the Temple of Prophet drops Sola toroids, which are kind of a yellowy color. So all you want to do is just go to these areas and start killing enemies while playing as Necros, and you'll get some of those toroids. It's not necessary for us to do right now, but I thought I would just go ahead and throw it into this part of the guide because it is something that we're going to have to do eventually. Alrighty, so it's night in 5 minutes in the Plains of Eidolon. The first thing that you want to make sure that you have equipped is your Sirocco on your operator. I'm just going to go ahead and throw on that Eternal Eradicate Arcane because that's going to help out with a little bit of the damage. So Sirocco equipped, and if you have this Arcane equipped, you don't need to specifically have that Arcane. I'm also going to go ahead and bring in Vault. So this is the build that I'm rocking on my Vault. If you have it from the Arbitrations, you could throw on Adaptation, and that's going to help you stay alive for a little bit longer. You can go ahead and rank this mod up a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and spend 7,000 endo on it. So this is the build that I'm going to go in with instead. This is the build that I'm rocking on the Nadaruk. And that is really all you have to worry about for now. So this is our first attempt at taking on an Eidolon. And an Eidolon is like a big dinosaur boss that spawns in the Plains of Eidolon. So once it turns nighttime, just go ahead, head into the Plains of Eidolon, then get into your Archwing and listen out for this big noise. Now this is going to be an Eidolon. So just go ahead and mark the Eidolon. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to some of the Grenier camps nearby. We're going to shoot the lures that spawn in. We're going to hack the lures. Now we need 2 lures here. And what we need to do is we need to charge the lures by killing these bombs. You just go ahead, shoot them with your Nadaruk, and then shoot them with your operator. Then pick up the blue ball, run the blue ball into the lure like so. And do that again. Pick up this blue ball, run it into the lure. Now we're going to go ahead and head to another camp and get another lure, shoot it, and then hack it. Then just go ahead and stay close to the ground to see if you can see any of the bombs spawn in. Don't worry if you can't find any, we're going to force them to spawn in. So this is the Eidolon. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and give yourself some energy in your operator by using your first ability, so the Wellspring ability. So give yourself energy on Vault. Then go ahead, get near the Eidolon, place down an electric shield, and just go ahead and shoot the Eidolon with your operator amp, that is. Keep on shooting 3 volt shield. That way, whenever you crit, you're going to deal extra damage. Also, I found another little bomb here, so I'm going to go ahead and kill him. And you can see that that charges up one of our lures here. You're eventually going to break the Eidolon's shield, and he's going to make a noise like that. Now you can get into your vault. Go ahead, hold down your 1 to get the extra electric damage. Then shoot for your shield at the radiators. That's his knees and his arms. And you'll see that you'll deal a bunch of damage to his limbs. So you're looking to break one of the limbs while the lure that's charged is right beneath him. The lure is going to connect to him, and that's going to stop him from teleporting away. And you see that we got one of the sentient cores. So whenever you break one of those limbs, just go into your operator and crouch, and that's going to protect you from the big attack that he does. Now another bomb spawned in for me. I'm going to go ahead and kill it. And now we just have to go ahead and repeat that process for the 4 limbs that the Eidolons got. We have to break his shield again. His shield's broken, so I'm going to head cast my 1, pick up an electric shield, and just shoot his other knee. There we go, there's a second limb destroyed, and we got some more cores. Whenever he does the big roar, just go into your operator and crouch like so. Make sure to kill the bombs, because the bomb is actually going to restore his shield. Break the shield for a 3rd time. Now we need to shoot his arms. There's these little radiator parts, kind of his shoulders, I guess. There's one of his arms destroyed. He's doing his thing. Then once that shield's broken, kill any bombs that are around. And just go ahead and damage the final limb. You can also use your necromech here if you want to, by the way, guys. If your necromech has a good weapon. Mine currently doesn't have a good one equipped, so it's not dealing any damage. Just went ahead and destroyed the final limb. Now he's going to go into a down but not out phase, and all the bombs are going to rush in to try and heal him. He's eventually going to go ahead and get back up. You just want to go ahead and cast your electric shield, your shock ability, and then just go ahead and damage him with your Naderic. And congratulations, you have just captured your first Eidolon, implying both of your lures are close enough. He's going to float up in the sky, that's how you know that you've captured him. And if you kill him, he's just going to fall over onto the ground. And then once he's sunk into the ground, you're going to see all of this loot spawn over here. Make sure to go ahead and pick it all up, and especially pick up the floating shards. So you should have got a regular Eidolon shard and a brilliant Eidolon shard for the capture. On top of that, you also get an unidentified item, which is an arcane. But for now, we just want to go ahead and run back into Cetus. If you want to do that again, you can just come back out into the Plains of Eidolon, implying it's nighttime after you ran into Cetus again. And another one of the Eidolons is going to spawn. That way you can farm some of those cores and some of those shards. Then we can come up to Onko over here. Implying you've got enough standing to turn in, because mine is actually capped out for today. I've got to wait 2 hours before I can turn in more cores. I still have to go and get more of the cores to actually rank up here. But these guys sell amp parts, which is just going to make our operator stronger. So the prism amp parts, you can see that there's a Raplac prism, a Schwalk prism, and a Granmu prism. The prism parts specifically give you extra mastery. So you want to pick up all 3 of the prisms at least. But amps are made up of a prism, a scaffold, and a brace. So you need 3 to build 1 amp. So whenever it's nighttime, I recommend just coming into the Plains of Eidolon and capturing the Terror List, which is the one that we just did. There are stronger versions of the Eidolons, but I don't recommend doing those right now because you're simply just too weak. But the more you capture or kill the Terror List, the easier it's going to become, because the more things you're going to be able to get from that vendor Onko. So you guys remember how I randomly made you come into Fortuna and put down 3 lock pins for these torrid farming locations? Well, yeah, that's for good reason. So if you come to the back room of Fortuna, which is all the way back here, just go ahead and enter this doorway here. While you're in your operator, you can talk to a little duck. And if you go ahead and browse wares, you can see a bunch of cosmetics, and you can also see prisms. So we're also going to need these prisms to make better amps as well and get extra mastery. But also, we're going to eventually be able to build an amp which is really good at killing the Void Angel specifically. You can see the Cantic Prism, the Lega Prism, and the Clamora Prism. So another 3 prisms in here. And also a bunch of Arcanes. So what we do is we trade toroids for stand-in. We need to get these toroids to rank up as well. And if you come over to this table, you can go ahead and press briefing, but, you know, they don't let you actually interact with us yet. And that's simply because you have to rank up to rank 5 with the Solaris United. So you got to do your Fortuna bounties. And then once we've ranked up enough with the Solaris United, we can come over into the back room again, interact with the table, and then we'll be able to do bounties for the Vox Solaris, which will get us better toroids. So we can rank up a lot faster. So this is basically just a bounty episode of me saying, hey, you've got all the tools that you need to go and rank up with Fortuna, to rank up with the Ostrons and Cetus, to rank up with the Entrati family, the Zaramin, the Cavia in the Sanctum, and the Hex in 1999. So what I'm saying is that you should go do that every single day, every day possible, because that's what I'm going to do. And whenever I've got them all max rank, or at least a few of them max rank, I'll come back here and we'll start talking about that stuff again. But anything that you'll need to rank up with a given open world will most likely be sold from one of the vendors. So for example, if Yuriko randomly starts asking for like mining resources, you know to come to the mining person over here. It's the same for all of the open worlds. But yeah, I'm going to leave this episode off here because I've literally just given you guys like a big list of stuff to go and do. So go level up all of your syndicates, all of your open world stuff. Farm up as many weapons, craft as many weapons, prime frames, prime weapons as possible. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, hit like. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.